Hello and welcome to the fourth video in our Tableau training from Analytics University at Consumers Energy. In this video, we will learn how to visualize our data using graphs. Our objectives for this video are that you will be able to use the Show Me feature in Tableau to help guide you in creating visualizations. You'll be able to select variables that you would like to analyze and allow Show Me to guide you in creating those visualizations. You'll be able to edit features of a graph, such as shape, size, and coloration, and you'll be able to set up filters for your visualizations. So here I am on the Tableau servers. I suggest that you go into the training project. You find the workbook that you created and saved from video 3. You can open it by clicking View, and then using the Edit tool in the toolbar. So this is the workbook that we created in video 3. We can see that we are on sheet 1 at the bottom, and we can see options that allow us to create new worksheets, new dashboards, or new stories. I suggest you create a new worksheet. It will bring up a blank worksheet, and now you're able to follow along with the rest of this video. Our first objective is that we will be able to use the Show Me feature in Tableau to guide us in creating visualizations. So if I click on the Show Me tab, it will bring up all of the visualizations that Tableau can make. If I hover over any of the visualizations, at the bottom it will tell me how many dimensions and how many measures I would need to select in order to create that visualization. If I hover over, say, a horizontal bars, it will tell me I need 0 dimensions and 1 or more measures. So if I go over to my variables pane, I'm going to pick one measure and use the Show Me feature to create that visualization quickly. I'm going to select population total count as my measure variable. I click it one time, and now we can see that certain visualizations have become unfaded and are now able to be selected. Tableau even recommends one visualization it thinks would be best for the data you've selected. I select the horizontal bar chart, and now Tableau has made for me a visualization of the one bar representing the entire world's population for all 11 years in my data set, and we can see that it is the 71 billion that we saw in the last video. So perhaps I want to add a little bit more context to my visualization. Again, in the last video, we added the dates, we added the years to our table. So I'm going to add the years to this table as well. I'm going to click the date, and I'm going to click the horizontal bars again. I'll close the Show Me tab so I can see the entire graph. And now I can see that without much input from myself, Tableau has created a bar that represents the population of the world for each of the 11 years in my data set. There are some other really good features in Tableau that allow you to customize how your visualization will look. So for example, on a lot of the bar charts that I like to look at, I would like it to be, instead of horizontal, vertical. So if we go into the toolbar at the top, we can use the Swap Rows and Columns selection to swap the axes of my graph. And now I have a vertical bar chart instead of a horizontal bar chart. I can further customize the way that my visualization looks by playing with the marks pane next to my visualization. For example, if I don't want my bars to be blue, I can use the color feature to select any of these colors, maybe green. I can change how see-through they are. I can change their border color. Or if you really want to try and play with the visualization, you can change things like the size to make the bars wider or skinnier. You can add a label So now we can see what the count is in each one without having to hover. Or we can go so far as to change the nature of the graph itself by selecting the type of mark that is created. Right now the type of mark is bars, but if we choose something like, say, circle, now we simply have a circle, a dot, above each year corresponding to the y-axis and the population of that year. I encourage you to play around with the visualizations so you can see all the things that it has to offer in case we don't cover something that you're looking for in these videos. Another one of our objectives is that we will be able to add and apply filters to our data visualizations. So let's say that I would like to be able to filter this data based on the region that I'm looking at. I can add the region variable to my filters, and just like in our last video, we can see that Tableau creates for me the region filter next to my visualization. I am a big fan of the Show Apply button, so I will select that. And then perhaps I want to look at just one of the regions, so let's say Asia. I can hit Apply. And you'll notice something very convenient that Tableau has done for me. It has rescaled my y-axis and it's made the visualization look as good as it could. So if I go back, we can see that these are in billions, and if I move back to just having Asia, now these are in millions. Tableau is trying to optimize the way that my graphic looks, and in order to do that, it will automatically scale axes to help me out. So one of our objectives is that we will be able to select variables that we would like to be analyzed from the dimensions and measures, and then allow ShowMe to guide us to a visualization that it thinks is best or that we think is best for our analysis. So before, we use ShowMe by highlighting one of the graphs and then allowing Tableau to tell us what variables down at the bottom, which measures or dimensions, we would need to create that visualization. But it's more realistic to think that you, as the analyst, have some idea of the variables that you would like to analyze. So we would like to be able to select those variables and then let ShowMe give us the best visualization that it thinks is possible. So I'm going to create a new worksheet, and then I'm going to select some variables that I would like to analyze. So perhaps I'd like to look at the measure banks automated tellers per 100,000 adults. So I'm going to click that variable. And I'd like to see the breakdown by, say, subregion. So I'm going to click and hold the Control key on my keyboard and click subregion. Now I'll open up the Show Me feature, and it gives me all of the different visualizations that are possible with the data that I've selected. It even recommends one visualization that it thinks would be best. Now, perhaps I don't want to do another horizontal bar chart. So maybe I want to see what a pie chart would look like. So I can click the pie chart, and Tableau creates that for me. It has selected each piece of my pie to be a different color and represent a different subregion. Now, this is a pretty small pie chart. I probably want it to be a little bit bigger. There's a feature in Tableau in the toolbar that allows me to fit the visualization the way that I think looks best or meets my needs. So I can click the fit. The options are standard, which it defaults to, fit width, fit height, or entire view. So if we play with these, we can see that fit width kind of moves it to the center, fit height moves it to the center but on the right hand side, and entire view takes up the entire space of my visualization, which I think looks best for this pie chart, so I'm going to leave it like that. And then I maybe like to customize this a little bit to make it easier to use. So maybe I'd like to add some labels to this pie chart. So each subregion represents one of my pieces of the pie. So I can select subregion again and drag it to the label square in the marks pane. And now each of my individual pieces of the pie are labeled, with the exception of null. Now maybe I don't want null in my analysis. This would be every country that belongs to no subregion. So I can click this piece of the pie and select exclude. Tableau automatically redoes the math to make the pie appropriate for now the only remaining data. Now I have each piece of the pie labeled, but perhaps I would like to also put the measure. So I'm going to go to that measure again, which is the Banks automated tellers per 1,000, and I'm going to drag that to the labels square in the marks pane. And now it's created a label with the name of the subregion and also the actual number that it's representing. Now, maybe for some reason I would like the number to be on top of the label of the subregion. In order to do that, all you have to do is switch the order that they come in the marks pane. So I have subregion with the label mark on top of the measure Banks automated tellers per 100,000 adults on the bottom. If I switch these two, it also switches my visualization, putting the number on top of the subregion label. This has been Graphs Part 1. In Video 5, we'll take a deeper look at how to create data visualizations in Tableau. We'll look at how to construct graphs without the aid of the Show Me feature. We'll look at how to create more in-depth edits to our visualizations, like the shape, the size, and the coloration. And we'll take a look at creating some new and specific graphs that are useful in our analyses. In this video, we learned how we can use the Show Me feature to guide us to creating visualizations. We've used the Show Me feature to take variables that we wanted to analyze and let Show Me create the visualizations for us. We've learned how to do the basics of editing features of our graphs, such as the shape, the size, and the color. And we've learned how to set up filters for our graphs, and we learned that Tableau nicely edits the graph as we make changes to the filters.